Battlers, I am back. Welcome to another episode of the Knighted Podcast Match Rewind Edition. Well, when it comes to hard work, battlers, and getting the job done right, none do it better than our good mates at A+ Contracting and Polywelding. Just like the Newcastle Knights used to leave it on the field every single week, A+ brings that same level of dedication to the mining and civil projects industries. They are the experts you need for professional, cost-effective, and comprehensive contracting services. They will do the hard yards, battlers, so you don't have to. Well, here we are once more for what can only be considered maybe the most cathartic episode I have ever had to do, as we try and make sense of what on earth has happened to our club over the past 6 weeks as the Newcastle Knights travelled up to Townsville without any hope of playing finals, up against a team that we have not beaten in Townsville in over 10 years. And what happens? We get absolutely blown off the park in every single aspect of that game. I would like to say there's plenty to discuss and plenty to talk about, but I really don't know if there is at this point. Am I just repeating myself? Is this literally just, are we in the twilight zone? Are we just reliving the same efforts and experiences over and over again?
I believe it's a movie called Groundhog Day.
It feels like Groundhog Day. It does. Here I was this time last week singing bloody Every Rose Has Its Thorn. I didn't know what to sing this week, but yes, we're going to be breaking down that game, battlers. Also on tonight's show, we'll be taking a look at some Knighted news that's broken this week. We'll be taking a look at your LGB Marine Titanium Forge Player of the Week, as well as my Paycat Knighted Players of the Week, as well as answering your burning questions brought to you by Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. So, battlers, sit back and get ready as we take a look at the Adam O'Briens and outs of last week's horrible fucking performance in Townsville. Let's go! All right, first things first this week. Now, look, the theme of tonight's show is going to be effort and belief. Now, I want to talk about a particular athlete who happened to be a Newcastle Knight, who was a highly revered, highly respected player we all loved when she was a Newcastle Knight. But I tell you what, huge shout out to Caitlin Johnston-Green, making her Sharks debut, coming back from giving birth mere 11 weeks ago. What are we doing? 11 weeks ago, this woman is giving birth, and now she's playing prop forward in the NRLW.
This gives you no right to complain about man flu, hey?
Oh, hey, let's not. Come on now. I'm only still recovering from that. You'd probably have to give me 18 weeks for man flu. But nah, look, seriously, what an absolutely insane effort. Like, that is absolutely fucking phenomenal. I genuinely don't believe there would be an athlete that's ever graced this fucking planet who's gone. You know, there's plenty of female athletes that have gone on and given birth and then gone back to their profession. But to do it in 11 weeks and to play the most toughest physical sport on the planet is incredible. Like, let's be honest, you know, even if she returned and played on the wing, that would be mind-blowing. If she was playing the halves, that'd be incredible.
Her mind was set the moment she was pregnant.
Absolutely insane.
Absolute determination.
Oh, my God. You know, the boys need to take a good, hard, long look at themselves. If Caitlin can put that sort of effort in, yeah, that is. I just don't know how that is humanly possible. Like, I can't. Yeah, seriously, just my mind's blown. You know, we all loved her while she was a Newcastle. No, we still love her. We still respect her. You know, she for the greater good of the game made her way down to Cronulla. Even though I don't think they need any help, they're a pretty bloody handy team. But yeah, boy oh boy, they got a good one. And just a huge shout out to you, Caitlin. That is absolutely a fucking incredible effort. Absolutely incredible. My mind blown. Can't believe it. Yes, anyways, this week's First Things First brought to you by Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts, which is Newcastle's Lake Macquarie and the Hunter's highest rated mixed martial arts gym with more than 350 Google 5-star reviews. Beginners are welcome into their Safe, inclusive, and most importantly, Battlers Fun Training Centre. Head coach Jess Landry's experience includes being directly trained by UFC veterans as well as under the wrestling coach of the Sydney Roosters. Newcastle Mixed Martial Arts is centrally located in Cardiff, right beside the Cardiff train station, offering day-night classes for kids, teens, and adults, including Muay Thai kickboxing, gi and no-gi Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and mixed martial arts. So make sure you head across to their website at newcastlemma.com.au and you'll be kicking ass like Caitlin Johnston-Green. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. All right, Battlers, if you are tuning in right now on the live stream, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. It'll make you feel a bit better. It'll make you feel better. I tell you what, these are fucking hard slogs coming up here and trying to do this shit after the season we're having. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Make sure you give it a big old thumbs up if you're listening to it after the fact. Make sure you give us a big old 5-star review. I think I've earned it. At this point in time, I battled. I tell you what, doing this show during having a flu was easier than coming up here after the performance we witnessed this week. So do your boy a favor. I've earned it. I've really earned it. Give us a big old 5-star review. And wherever you're wasting your time on your phone, on your computer, you can guarantee we're there.
Shout out to Phil watching from Los Angeles.
Phil from LA. Well, that's a new one. Wow.
So all the way in LA.
Nice, Phil. What time's it over in LA, pal? Hope you're having a good time over there, dude. Country seems a bit of the America seems to be in all sorts at the moment, in turmoil. What, Putin's over in Alaska, they got fucking ICE agents locking up every bastard. It's just fucking crazy at the moment over there. So stay safe, Phil. Stay safe, mate. But yeah, so make sure you like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. All social media platforms, you can guarantee you we are there. All right, let's do it. Let's jump into a little bit of United news coming out this week and some more news surrounding potential recruit Sandon Smith, the 22-year-old Roosters junior. Now, shout out to Hainsey, who was humongous emotional support for me during the night's watch. He had a lot of good things to say. I thought, who better to talk about a Roosters player than the head of the Chook Pen himself, Hainsey. It has been reported in the Newcastle Herald that he is set to meet with Knights officials and do the tour. All right, what sort of tour he's going to get remains to be seen as they try and lure him to the club. And it has been stated that they are looking for him to play hooker. So predominantly 14, as Hainsey was saying, very much a Connor Watson 2.0 type player. Played a lot of halves, a lot of 14, filling in. Never been a starting hooker in the NRL, but has plugged in, done a job there, done a little bit of fullback. So very much Connor Watson-esque, anywhere kind of in the spine. He seems to plug in and do a job, but the Knights thinking he is going to be the long-term solution for hooker coming 2026. So, we know the Raiders are very, very keen for his services also. They're a club that are absolutely firing on all cylinders at the moment. So a very attractive landing place for a playmaker to go to, because their young blokes are absolutely killing it. But he's got a decision to weigh up there. Does he? The one thing that's in our favour, he is a Gosford boy. He came through the Central Coast Academy system. He was apparently in the Knights Academy system as a teenager. So, maybe if he's in love with the Bondi beaches, he's going to want to come to Newcastle. Right? If he's a beach-going sort of a dude, Newcastle, a far preferable landing spot than Canberra. Let's hope that is well and truly in our favour. The beaches might just win our boy Sandon Smith over. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Be very interesting when news breaks, when he makes his decision on where he is going to end up. And moving across now, this one, oh my God, did this one absolutely rock me like a hurricane. Now, the commentator during the NRLW clash was our girls taking on the Roosters. Again, shout out to all the battlers who tuned in for that night's watch with me and Hainsey. Just casually threw it out there like a fucking hand grenade. Oh, yeah, there's reports that Jesse Southwell's being linked to the Brisbane Broncos. And we're like, hang on a tick. He was very nonchalant about that. We're like, hey, whoa. You can't just go throwing that shit in the middle of a bloody Knights game. Could you imagine 20 years ago, just halfway through a game, commentator says, oh, did you hear that Joey's just had bloody meetings with the Roosters? You go, what? Excuse me? Just, can we pause for a second? Now, look, sources who I believe to be credible and close in those circles think it's complete and utter bullshit, that it's not going to happen. Maybe it's this, I don't know if it's agents kind of doing their thing, that maybe try and get a better deal for Jessie. She does have options in her contract for, I believe, the next 2 seasons for the Newcastle Knights. Peter Park coming out and saying, look, we want her long term, and we couldn't agree more. Whatever, we give her a lifelong contract. I don't care if Jessie Southwell plays well into her 50s. I don't care. She can do it. Let's give her that contract. If we can give
free Henny Penny for life.
Absolutely. I'm sure Henny Penny, we can get Henny Penny on board for that. Let's give her the Henny Penny gold card. All right. Yeah, seriously. If we need to lock her up long term, she's only getting better and better. She was absolutely sensational again over the weekend. I know, in a beaten team. Again, representative player. We all know what we've got in Jessie Southwell, and it would be crazy to think that some NRLW clubs wouldn't be sniffing around to try and get her services. She is going to be an absolute weapon. She will be, I believe, the best NRLW player in the very, very near future. She's an absolute weapon. So, but look, at this point in time, I don't think there's any credible sort of evidence to suggest that she even is looking to leave Newcastle. She's a Newcastle girl. It just makes sense. She really is the second coming of Joey Johns. She really is. I think we all can sit there and we think, well, she's just Joey Johns with headgear for our female side. So, look, just want to put that out there. I want to, we've had enough shit news of late. I think I just want to put that one to bed, but still keep your eyes and ears peeled. But yes, my little birdies are telling me don't worry about it too much. I think it's a bit of a G up. Maybe trying to, I don't know, the commentators trying to get the ratings up, because they would have spiked. Everyone would have just been tuning in going, what? Did you hear that? But yes, so yes, Battlers, that'll do it for this week's Knighted News. All right, here we are. We've arrived at our 6th straight loss. Newcastle Knights heading up to Townsville on a Sunday night, or Sunday afternoon clash, should I say, a twilight game, Sunday evening game up in Townsville, as I said before, a venue we have not won at since round 2, 2015, which coincidentally happened to be a year we won the wooden spoon and the bloody Cowboys would go on to win the premiership. So I don't know. If someone wanted to do their homework, when was the last time the Newcastle Knights beat a team that would go on to win the premiership at home, at their home, like at an away stadium? It'd be a while, I would imagine. But yeah, crazy. Yes, finals hopes all but dashed coming to this game. And one thing I want to talk about, and I think it's evidently clear, more and more pundits are talking about it, is when that belief of winning football games, or that carrot that's dangled in front of your football team of playing finals football, is gone. When belief evaporates, effort follows closely after. And I think that was abundantly clear. Now, look, I don't want to sit here today and throw dispersion, say our boys gave up and, they're already looking at Bali, they're checked out. But look, to be honest, you look at the eye test, there were so many effort areas in this game where we were just not in the contest whatsoever. It didn't matter what the fucking Cowboys threw at us. They found points. And these statistics, I think I've read out some of the most crazy fucking statistics in the Penrith game. The absolute domination that was the Penrith Panthers and the score they put on us. This is absolutely insane. Let me bring up the statistics from this game, right? Now, if someone were to tell you the Newcastle Knights played a team that completed at 67%, right? This is our opposition stats. Our opposition's completed at 67%. They've made 23 errors. And what have I got here? Missed 32 tackles with a tackle efficiency of 85%. Kicked the fusel at 42%. You would say the Newcastle Knights won that game. You would absolutely say, as bad as we've been this year, the Newcastle Knights would win that game. No. Not only did we lose that game, we lost to a team with those stats by 34 points. Unbelievable. A team had 23 errors and still managed to put 34 more points on us. They put 38 on us. Unbelievable. I just can't believe it. And it's not like the Newcastle Knights did not have their opportunities. To start the game, we saw the Reece Robson sin binning, and we're thinking, okay, the Newcastle Knights have to fire a shot here. We rushed to play. We looked impatient at times. Thought they're down a man in the middle. We have to exploit this. And just time after time after time, just failed to execute the play. Ill patience, pushing passes we shouldn't have. I think there was 3 intercepts in this game. One, unfortunately, leading to a try. It just went from bad to worse. We saw Jacob Saifidi all but cross the line. And, Scotty Drinkwater. We talk about effort areas. We talk about just teams like the Cowboys they had one more competition point than us coming this game. Their finals dreams are dashed also. But they still found those moments and executed. And that was ultimately the difference. For me, watching the game, clearly we're missing some strike. We're missing Kalen Ponga. We're missing Lucas. We're missing Razor Sharp. We're missing these guys, and the attack's been poor at the best of times, and you lump that on top. But one thing we could always hang our hat on, the one thing, the cornerstone for the Newcastle Knights in 2025 for such a long period of time before this horrible last fucking 3 or 4 weeks was our defense, and that has just eroded away. And to me, it comes down to, once that belief is gone, it's those efforts just go. Like Matty Croker, for instance, just a simple, just not carrying the ball and getting punched out for a Cowboys try. We saw Jermaine McEwen trying to wrap up the ball on Jason Taumalolo, had 3 Newcastle Knights players on him and still managed to get the offload away for a Tom Dearden try. I'm just sitting there. I cannot believe my eyes. It was just the effort, unfortunately, was just not there. And it pains me to say this. I don't want to be that guy who's needlessly negative, but I think there would be a lot of guys in that locker room who would have their pride absolutely stung, because it's one thing to lose. It's one thing to lose a game and you look at the scoreboard and be blown away. But I tell you what, to sit there and think you were just out-muscled in every single metric of that game and never in it would fucking hurt. It would hurt. And Adam O'Brien has a big job in his hands, because I'm sitting there looking back and I'm going, where did this start? What's the catalyst? Now we can look back at it, this sample size over the last 4 horrific weeks. And we've gone against some good teams that time. And we know the Cowboys are a team. I know that they're at the bottom of the ladder, but they're very hit and miss, and they've got this in them. We knew that they could score points. I said, don't be surprised if we win. If we could win this game, it was going to be a 30-32 or 32-36. It was just going to be an absolute shootout kind of a game. But where was that? I'm sort of doing circles. Oh, right. Where did this all go wrong? And I think looking back at it now, you comment away and you let me know, was that soul-crushing defeat to the Warriors. And I think we can look back now and go, that moment, that Haliasima try was just something we have never recovered from. I think that game is just, that loss just stung so bad, we've never recovered. Like, we haven't even looked at beating a team. We haven't even been in the contest since that moment. And looking back, I was like, wow, I think that point of the season we'll look back on as a really defining moment for the Newcastle Knights as they just fall off a cliff. As I said before, defense typified the Newcastle Knights. We knew, I kept saying it early in the season, that the Newcastle Knights don't have a physical problem. They've got a philosophical problem. We had the players and we had the effort areas. We could dig deep and hold our line. It was all this Nitanium. All that Nitanium is just all but fucking gone. I haven't seen Nitanium in God knows how long. It's been weeks. My eyes crave to see Nitanium once more. We could hang our hats on that, but the more the weeks go on, the belief is just, and Adam O'Brien said it best, and I wasn't rage baiting when I put that quote out there. What was his quote? If I can find it quickly, what I put up from his press conference. Where are you, Adam? It was right here. Our confidence and belief are eroding quickly, and he's absolutely spot on. And I just don't know now. Unfortunately, he can turn this ship around. It's just getting from bad to worse at this point. Now we've got a massive home game. Old Boys Day, it probably couldn't come at a better time. We need the old boys in in and around this playing squad more than ever. If there's anything to play for, this is it. This last home game with pride on the line, defend the kingdom. Let's give the Battlers something, for God's sake, to put a smile on their face. God, when was the last time we won a home game? 10 points to the first Battler. You can tell me what round that was. Seems like a fucking age ago. I can't even remember. It's just, yeah, it's just the effort areas. Look, Connor Vitano on debut. Now, what I wanted to say about Connor, he's excluded from this. Now, I don't want to see anyone poo-pooing our boy Connor Vitano this week. For a young guy to come in, did he have the best debut in the world? No, unfortunately, he did it. And our hearts were broken. It was a really poor pass by Jack Cogger, which he was just robbed of a try. We're all sitting there going, yes, we've got 3 from 3. The Newcastle Knights fullbacks always score on debut, and I know he had another shot later in the game that he unfortunately fumbled. But I tell you what, I know he had a couple of errors in his game, but boy, oh boy, he tried his ass out. And when you got the other boys in their team not doing their thing, what do you expect the debutant to do in that situation? So, look, I think it was the right move to blood Connor Vitano. I don't want anyone sitting there going, it was clearly a poor decision. We should have never picked him, should have been Gags. No, we did need to blood this guy in. Everyone was calling for it. You got it. It is what it is. Unfortunately, he just went up against a team that was up for the game, great conditions for them, and a venue we have not won at in a decade. I don't know why that is. Why is that? Can you tell me, Lou, why on earth would the Newcastle Knights be incapable of winning in Townsville or the Gold Coast? What is it about these fucking Queensland venues we just cannot win at?
I could not tell you, but I can tell you that Pang has said round 14 against Manly was our last win at McDonald Jones Stadium.
10. That's more than 10 weeks ago, right? Because you got to throw the bye.
The 5th of June.
10 weeks. June. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Thursday, the 5th of June.
Wow. So we went through all of July and we're halfway through August and we're yet to get a win for the Battlers at home. Wow. That's insane. That's absolutely... Kalen Ponga was still running around. My Lord. 10 points to you, Pang. Look, I just don't know what to say at this point. Much like the Penrith game, I came in here, Battlers. Usually I come in here, I rewatch the game, pick things apart. But at this point in time, I just don't think it's really valid to sit there and critique player performances when I think it's abundantly clear that, the belief and effort areas, unfortunately, have just dropped off. Because I don't think the Cowboys, they've got a team that can score points. But I think we made them look much better than they actually were. I think a lot of teams that would go up against the Cowboys this week certainly would not have had 38 points put on them. It's all like the Panthers I can kind of forgive because, they're a red-hot team. I think, they're going to be well and truly deep in finals football. They're going to be a top 4 team, let's be honest. And they just dominate us in all metrics. The stats backed up why they absolutely blew us off the park from fucking the first minute of the game. Complete juxtaposition. There's the word of the day for you, Lou. To this game where the Cowboys, you would look at it if someone hadn't have shown you the score and go, they are their own worst enemy. 23 errors, for God's sake, 67% completion rate, and they managed 38 points and only leaked 4. Is just like, what can you say to that? Like, honestly, I don't want to sit here and be negative for just the sake of being negative, because there is clearly there's I don't want to say a fracture or there's locker room issues, but clearly that not having that finals carrot dangled in front of this team at this point in time, and double down with the fact that, look, this is a bogey team for us in Townsville. There's a reason, for whatever reason it is, we have not won there in 10 fucking years. You compound that KP and the absolute elite players that we got out of the team, and Cowboys were just on. They were just on. They just torched us. It's in every area. It doesn't matter if they were just bashing down the door through the middle, playing out on the edges. Scotty Drinkwater absolutely torched us numerous times. He had a really good game, Scotty Drinkwater. But yes, look, let's get off the negative cart for a moment. Let's take a look at some positives. Let's take a look at your LGB Marine Nitanium Forge Play of the Week, brought to you by LGB Marine, the experts in building resilience on and off the water. Just like the toughest structures they construct, this week's player has been battle-tested, unshaken, and built to withstand anything. LGB Marine, strength, precision, resilience. Let's dive into this week's winner. And yes, picking up an absolute buttload of votes. And I tell you what, it was the one play, wasn't it? It was the one play we were sitting there. Tyson Frizzell coming up with some Scotty Sattler-esque type fucking tackle on Scott Drinkwater. Now, this just goes to show you how incredibly important it is to have these veteran players. Guys like Dane Gagai and Tyson Frizzell just never give up on the play. How many times did we see it there? I can't remember who scored the try. Someone, probably Tom Dearden or Scotty Drinkwater, just the simplest of grubber kicks in there. No Newcastle Knight chasing the ball, all flat-footed, all just standing there, and the Cowboys go on to score easily. But then on the flip side, you see this massive play breakdown, and he had no right to run down Scotty Drinkwater, but who does it? Absolute try-saving effort, tackles in there. Tommy Cance there to the rescue also shuts down the play once Scotty Drinkwater tries to get the ball offloaded. Tyson Frizzell, take your hat off. You know, how good is it we've re-signed this guy? You'd hate to think how much worse it could possibly be without a couple of these veteran guys. They've been through this stuff, and they're the reason you need these sort of guys in your squad. I know it didn't seem like it made a difference on the field on the day, but I can guarantee you within those four walls of Newcastle Knights, guys like Tyson Frizzell and Dane Gagai, those guys at the moment are absolutely invaluable. When you got guys like Connor Vitano, younger guys coming into the squad, Jermaine McEwen, these guys very early on in their career, who were just sitting there, you know, just probably their heads in a spin, don't know what they're doing. Have these guys in the locker room, absolutely invaluable. Let's take a look at some of Big Tyson's statistics here. Let's go find our boy Tyson Frizzell. Where are you, mate? Tyson. Obviously coming in to play lock forward with Phoenix Crosland out on HIA. Why can't I find Tyson Frizzell? My eyes are deceiving me. Here we are. Tyson Frizzell, 42 minutes played. He's got the 9 runs for 71 run meters, 19 post contact. He's got the 2 tackle breaks. Where is it? Why does it keep skipping on me? 3 offloads, 25 tackles, 0 miss. So again, not a game where you're looking at and going that the stats absolutely blow you off the park. But again, in a team that was just not going anywhere fast, just those effort areas that we're all screaming out for, and just that one individual effort just typified the kind of game he brought this week. And so he was your Titanium Forge Player of the Week. Now let's move along, shall we, to my Paycat United Players of the Week, brought to you by Paycat. Payroll made dead easy by a crew and Newey who know their stuff. Whether you're paying the boys on a construction site or trying to sort out that tricky Shads award for your NDIS biz, Paycat make it dead easy. They back hundreds of businesses and even help an NRL club keep their payroll running smooth. You can run payroll yourself, or you can get the Paycat team to do it for you. Either way, you'll have more time to crack a cold one and watch the footy. So let's take a look at some blokes who earned their pay this week. And yes, I'm in complete agreement. Tyson Frizzell picked up my 3 points this week. A guy who I thought was absolutely sensational, particularly at the start of the game, Jacob Saifidi. He was my player battle matchup this week. I fucking knocked that one out of the park, I thought. One thing I will say, you comment away, I thought we were absolutely dudded a penalty try. How on earth I think it was Jeremiah and I was about 3 or 4 meters away from Jacob Saifidi, and they thought, oh, no, you know, there was a Cowboys player that could have covered that try. No, bullshit. The bloke just about fell over the try line. I think we were dudded there. I don't know why that wasn't spoken about more. You let me know. I thought that was a penalty try every day of the week. Not that it probably would have made a difference. And then unfortunately, Scotty Drinkwater again knocking the ball out of his hands. The poor bloke robbed 2 opportunities there. But I thought to start the game, he was really, really strong. We saw that really tough carry, bending the line, start of the game, got that beautiful offload to Jack Cogger. And unfortunately, Jack Cogger fucking, you know, We'll get the Jack Cogger, a shit pass, high and fucking well above Conovatano's shoulder there, and just fucking butchered a try. Would have been one of the great fucking debut tries for Conovatano, but wasn't to be. Let's take a look at take a quick look at our boy JSAF's statistics. He's played the 56 minutes here, 15 runs for 125 of the best, 50 post-contact meters. He's got the one tackle break, the one line break assist, 2 offloads, 18 tackles, 4 missed with the 2 errors. In contrast, I want to talk about, again, the importance of Jacob Saifidi and where he is at his career compared to Leo Thompson. Now, Leo had an absolutely horrid performance against the Panthers, like just defensively pretty good, but as far as running the ball was just absolutely absent last week. And I'll tell you what, 65 minutes this week. And keep in mind, those stats I just read out from Jacob, he's only played the 56. So Leo's got he's got an extra, 9 minutes. 10 runs, only 88 meters. So he carried the ball 4 less times for 40 less run meters. He's got less post-contact meters with 32. The one line break assist. He's got the one offload. 48 tackles, so getting through the work there. 5 missed, unfortunately, though. And the 2 errors. So still, just goes to show you, still very early on into his career. I know he's got big, lofty heights. He's got a high ceiling, all the rest of it. But, it's just the consistency. And I think, the last couple of weeks, unfortunately for Leo, kind of the work he was doing with the ball has fallen off a bit, which is super unfortunate. It's not the reason why we lost the game, but those stats sort of show a bit of a picture there where Leo's at the moment, which is a bit unfortunate. Now, my 1 point this week, Dominic Young, our only try scorer this week. What have we got here for our boy Dirty Dom, as Hainsey calls him? He's got the 80 minutes. Obviously, bagged the try, 18 runs, our most run meters on the day with 181, 49 post contacts. He's got the 7 tackle breaks, 3 line breaks, got the offload, 1 tackle, 2 errors. So, again, not a game Dom will look back on fondly and not huge highlights, but got through a bit of work there. Certainly, I feel like he got through more work than our boy Greg. It's funny, actually. I don't think they targeted Greg once with a kick. That has to be a first. Now I think back on that. It's too busy flapping my gums with Hainsey. I don't think they kicked the ball once to Greg's side, did they? You let me know, battlers. Freshen my memory if they did or not. But anyways, sell my pay cat, Night of Players of the Week. Now let's jump back into it. Jack Cogger, again, another really poor performance. Execution, really poor. I think our first attacking kick of the game, kicks the ball way too hard. An easy catch in goal for the Cowboys there. Just execution was off. Again, that pass to Conovatano was just yuck, just robbed. The poor bastard. That'll haunt him forever. And I'm at this point in time, I know, all we're playing for at this point is just to avoid that goddamn spoon, because we got a much tougher run than the Titans. And if the Titans win one more game, I am seriously fucking concerned, because, we're only 2 points clear of them. They got the better run. We're leaking points like crazy. Got the Broncos coming to town. We're away against the Sharks, and we're away against Parramatta also. So going to be massive outsiders for every one of those games. And I'm at this point, I want Jackson Hastings back in the team. The news coming out that, they've told Cogs he's no longer wanted if he can explore other options. He's been linked back to Penrith once more. I think we just give it to Jacko. By all reports, I think Jacko played a pretty good game in Cup from the messages I saw. I didn't personally see it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I've heard, he's been doing a pretty good job in Cup. I don't think he's played a game since, I think it was the Raiders game, if I'm being honest. I think it's about a month of football that we haven't seen Jacko. I'm at this point in time, look, it's been up and down. I think, you let me know. Would you prefer, I put the post out earlier on Facebook, Cogs or Hastings? For me, I'm in the Jacko camp now. I think he's going to be the better option moving forward for the Knights, but you let me know. I know it's another halves pairing. If we go with Arthur and Hastings, I think that'll make our 12th halves combination for the year, but fuck it, that mantra is well and truly out the window as we're trying to desperately try and win one more game to try and maybe, just maybe, avoid the goddamn wooden spoon. Let's take a look. Who else? Have I missed anyone else, Lou, as far as, is there anyone the battlers are sort of commenting on that I may have sort of skipped over or not talked about? Is there a talking point that I may have missed? A crucial part of the game.
Justin said the moment we lost it was when we lost to the Titans early in the year. That set the tone for the rest of the year, in my opinion.
Oh, Justin, that fucking round 3 game, again, high hopes. I don't know what it is on the Gold Coast and Townsville. And I'd like to know, too, the last time we won at Suncorp. 10 points to the first battler who can tell me the last time the Newcastle Knights won a game at Suncorp Stadium. That would have to be coming up close to, is it, no, maybe not 10 years, but maybe 5. Did we beat him? I don't know. Did we beat him in that spoon year up here? I really can't remember now. But yeah, I know historically when we came into the club, here a little bit of a history lesson for you younger battlers. The Knights did not win a game on the goal in Queensland for 10 years. So we obviously came into the competition in 9 years. Came in 88, and it wasn't until the South Queensland Crushers in 1997 we got our first win. So it was even against terrible bloody Gold Coast Seagulls teams with captain coach Wally Lewis. Couldn't beat them. Couldn't beat a star-studded Broncos team. They were always going to be bloody hard to beat. Just couldn't get a job done. It wasn't until the bloody South Queensland Crushers come along we finally get our first win. 9 seasons. Can you believe that?
We won against the Titans at Magic Round, though, didn't we? In 23.
Oh, yeah. I guess you could say that, but it's still not. I guess you could put an asterisk next to it. It wasn't on the Gold Coast, but it was beating a Queensland team at Suncorp. So
that was the game that Saf got the penalty try.
Who got the one?
Saf got the penalty try.
Oh, yeah, you're right now. Yeah. Yeah, because we were talking about the Knights Watch one, and they still go on about it. Fucking Khan Pereira didn't knock the ball on. Bullshit, he didn't. They think, that robbed us the game. No, mate. It's the fact you leaked 26 points and a half. That's what cost you the game, pal. Anyways, what was I talking about? Yes, losing. It really did, because we had high hopes, didn't we? It was the only time this season, believe it or not, the only time this year we've gone back-to-back wins was round 1 and round 2. Oh, God, weren't they the days, battlers? Yes, and we all had high hopes going against Dez's Gold Coast Titans, who, we all thought they were going to be a bottom 4 team. I don't think anyone really had high hopes for the Gold Coast Titans. And, yeah, they just blew us off the park. It was a 13-plus affair. We looked fucking awful. So, in hindsight, mate, you're probably right, because, we were a little clunky to start the year, but going in there, Christ, we were fucking ordinary.
Josh just said we beat the Dolphins at Suncorp last year. David Armstrong debut.
Of course we did. I keep forgetting about the Dolphins. Sorry, yeah, the new club. I was there for that.
Like ages ago.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, Anzac Clash. Yep, 2024. I was there for that. Great game. Yeah, true. Yeah, well, I guess you got the Dolphins in the mix now. I keep forgetting about them. But yes, other players. Matty Arthur, very limited minutes. What did he get? 20 minutes here. Again, didn't have massive impact on the game. Brady Best still ran for 140 meters, 67 post contacts. Only got 1 tackle break. Again, just we used to Brady Best getting 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 tackle breaks even. I think Braden Burns, the left side winger, I think he ended up with 13 tackle breaks if I heard correctly somewhere. Someone was telling me. Why is the NRL app just wigging on me? 13 tackle breaks for Braden Burns. It just paints a stark contrast. They just won the physicality battle. They were just all effort in those areas, and we barely were breaking tackles at all. Was anyone else that I missed? I really don't feel like there was too many guys I can fucking glaze from this game.
Oh, sorry. Another one from Pang. We beat the Rabbitohs at Magic Round this
year.
We
did. Yeah, we did. We actually got a pretty good record at Magic Round. I think we've only lost 1 game by memory at Magic Round. We beat the Doggies, obviously Titans, Souths. I feel like there's only, we got an impeccable record at Magic Round. Fuck, man, it's so hard. The more and more information I have to try and retain for this shit, just some of the most basic fucking knowledge just leaves my brain, eh? There would just be punters out there going, Link, of course we fucking, and they spill out, I'm going, oh yeah, of course. Just the most irrelevant, just week-to-week data I have to try and hold into my brain. Like, I forget shit at the best of times. You know how many times Lou has to remind me to go do something?
let's not get started on that train.
Fucking, it's just my bandwidth. My bandwidth is absolutely at its peak at the moment. I can't retain anything more. I've got to push shit out to keep shit in here.
There's an idea. Hire a husband bandwidth.
Yeah, upgrade. Can I upgrade that? Where can I do that? I'm running on bloody 3G bandwidth over here. Need to get that NBN bandwidth.
Oh, you got dial up.
Yeah, probably that's probably more like it. I definitely got dial up bloody bandwidth over here. Can't remember anything. But yes, I don't know if there's much more to talk about Battlers. Like, it is what it is. It's going to be one of those horrific games we're going to want to wipe from our brains forever. It's just super disappointing because, the last time we went to Townsville was certainly under much different circumstances for both clubs. Both of us languishing in bottom four. Both of us were, it was our first finals game in 2024. But
another Men in Black memory wiping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last few weeks have just been get rid of, just remove this from my head forever. Yeah, it's don't want to sort of sit and wallow on this one for too long, but fuck, it stung. It stung. All right, let's do it. Let's answer some of your burning questions brought to you by our good mates at Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training. If you work in a business, Battlers, chances are you are not prepared for fire and or emergency. So make sure you get in contact with Get Out Alive Fire Safety Training for all your training, plans, and procedures. Because if you do not learn, you will burn. All right, hit me with it. What are the Battlers got? Are they speechless? I would not be surprised if there's no questions, and I would completely and utterly understand Battlers. I would not be offended at all if you've gone, Link, I'm out.
Carl's asked, so what are the odds for the spoon? Titans have 3 games where they're a chance to get the W.
Oh, I haven't even looked at the odds, man. That's a very good question as to who would. Is that even? I don't even know how to find that on here. How would I even do that? I don't even look up wooden spoon odds. Is that a wooden spoon odds? This is riveting fucking viewing. Bottom 4 finish to make grand final miss. Don't even know how to find it, mate.
We'll get back to you, Barry.
Properly. You let me know. Oh, here we go. Oh, no, I've just found it. Least wins, wooden spoon. Gold Coast Titans paying $1.57. The Newcastle Knights $2.30. And Eels massive outsiders with 34. So Titans still at $1.57. But yeah, I would much rather their draw than ours, put it that way. You let me know. I genuinely feel our last shot at winning one more game is this week. Oh, boys. And we're going to need to call in the absolute fucking big guns. I want to see Paul Harrigan. I don't care. Paul, you name your amount, pal, and we're going to write you just a blank check. You put whatever number you want on it, and you are in the building 24/7. You are on call. That's what we need this week. We need just inspirational speech after inspirational speech from Paul Harrigan. Then we're a good chance against a very depleted Broncos outfit who put on a shit ton of points against the Dolphins. So, yeah.
Sorry. Tony's asked, the word is Kyle has been told he can leave.
What? Come on, Kyle. No way.
Comments in the watch along yesterday I forgot to bring up.
Really? I have not heard that one. I'll have to go digging around. I would be stunned if that was the case. Wow. Unless they're just feeling we're absolutely stacked in those positions. Because, we always get asked, like, Link, who's going to be the guy, when Dane hangs the boots up, who's the guy that filled that right centre spot, and you got obviously Fletcher Hunt, Kyle McCarthy, who I really rate, the Schiller Instinct, he's still in the mix as well. Yeah, wow, that's interesting. Unless they're trying to free up top 30 spots, but if I'd be fucking Devo or Kyle left. We love Hong Kong Kyle. Become a favourite here at the United.
Andrew's asked, what's the latest with Trey Mooney?
Nothing as of yet. I still think it's not a fait accompli, so to speak. I believe, which is a French saying. Is that right? French or Latin? I think it's French. It's French. Yeah, I think it's going to be a done deal. Apparently, there was something in it, again, whether it's bullshit or not, some clause regarding the coaching staff. That might void it. I think what they are ultimately waiting on, though, however, is the official green stamp by Ricky Stewart. I think that's basically all holding it back. I think everything else is done. It's once Ricky's greenlit the release, it can all be said and done. So when that will be, who knows? And let's be honest, the Raiders are at a point where they don't need any distractions. So one way, if they feel like, yeah, we just need to move on, get the news out, move on, or no, let's just keep things as they are, and we can announce that later. Much like what we feel like is probably inevitably going to be happening with the Roosters at DCE. They're going to not want to derail their mojo at the moment, announce the big signing, DCE, all the media attention. So it's probably a bit like that, mate. If the Raiders were probably where we are, they just announce it, fucking move on, whatever. But their premiership window is fucking wide open, and they probably don't want any distraction, unwanted media attention, all the rest of it. So I could probably understand from that perspective why we haven't sort of heard anything therein. But yeah, I'm pretty confident, dude. He's coming. He's coming.
Carly's asked, has Sandon had some experience at hooker?
He has, Carly. The great Hainsey was explaining. Very much a 14, so he's never been named starting hooker in the NRL. And I believe in Cup he's predominantly a 7. He won 2. Hainsey was showing me the highlights when they beat Norths this week. Came up with a bloody clutch play, and apparently did it the week before playing halfback too. Sealed the win for the Roosters in Reggie's. But yes, he has filled in. The best way he described him was Connor Watson 2.0. Very handy player. I'm sure the Knights would be looking at him going, I guess what they need to try and convince him of is to let go of his preferred position as a 7, and would he want to come in and play 9? I think they must be feeling he's got the capability to do that. He just needs to come in and do it. And I think Hainsey wasn't he spruiking everyone? Finals game against the Storm 2023 apparently came on and absolutely killed them. Killed the Storm in that finals clash, coming off the bench and plug it in playing hooker. So clearly a very talented football player. He was very gutted to see him. I was very interested to talk to a Roosters guy about Sandon Smith. It's always interesting to get their perspective of a player. And yeah, he said they would have loved to have kept him, but unfortunately you can't keep him all. Hugo Savala's killing it for him. So they're obviously preferring him to partner up with DCE than Sandon. And obviously the Raiders too, look at where they're at. They've got an eye, and Ricky obviously being one of the great halves to ever play has identified him. Well, there's got to be something there, right? So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to potentially land him. And yeah, I put the post out, is that going to be the future fucking spine? I think that might be the case. That might well be the case.
Sal's asked, can we design a Vegas jersey 2026? Bet Battlers could create something better than what our design media team does.
I would love if they did like what the Panthers did in a Vegas strip. I'd be fucking absolutely all for that. But yeah, maybe if they don't give us one, I'll have to get one mocked up, eh?
Sounds good.
Yeah, because what the Knights can really play on is like the whole American flag thing, because like the red, white, and blue. You know what I mean? They could really lean into that. I think they could have a really cool looking design. But yeah, I'm with you, mate. Fucking oath. Give me a Vegas jersey, Knights.
Bezos asked, why can't Crossland play 9?
It's not that he can't play 9, man. I just think now at this point we've looked at him and gone, whoa. I feel like maybe I don't know. 13's more his position. I don't know. Certainly, it's not a case of that he can't play 9. Maybe the coaching staff feel like, all right, Crossland's hit his ceiling here at 13, but as a 9, but at 13, maybe he can play a little bit more of that natural ball playing that he might have done as a half, because obviously we all know he came through as a half before transitioning to a hooker, before now transitioning into a lock forward. And in the modern game, I think he really suits that. Obviously, defense is his real strong suit. So maybe if we lean into, real stout defensive guy in the middle, who we absolutely missed this week, even though Tyson Frizzell did a fucking really good job. I think we all can agree that we are a better team when you got Phoenix Crossland out there. Brings that real intent, line speed, and all the rest of that good stuff. He's really, really good for that. He's still got a little bit of a clutch kicking game about him. He's still got that ball playing, which I think is really important for the for the modern day lock. All the successful teams have that in them. I think we all liked Adam Elliott, but I feel like at this point, Phoenix Crossland offers much more for us. I think there's a lot more upside to Phoenix Crossland in pretty much all areas than there is Adam Elliott. It's not that he can't play 9. I wouldn't say he can't. It's just I feel like he's better suited. I think we can get more out of Phoenix Crossland at 13.
Last one from Carl. Why would we not want Sandon at 7 and Brown at 6?
Because you got razor sharp, brother. That's why. That's why, dude. I think. Look, don't get me wrong. Like, if you got a guy like Sandon, worst case scenario, if even it was a 14, and he's very much like Connor Watson. Connor could basically play anywhere. He was just a great utility player, and obviously took it to a whole nother level, and now he's playing representative football for the Blues and killing it in that role. He's just, the next sort of that Craig Wing type player. You can sort of pretty much put him anywhere and he'll do a job. I don't know. I think I definitely feel like, mate, it's going to be unequivocally the Dill Brown and Razor Sharp 6-7. I believe, and I've staunchly believed for a long time, that Razor will be our 7, and I'm still waiting for someone to tell me why that can't be the case. And Dill Brown will be the 6. That might change, and if it were to change, I still don't think it's to me. It's even if that were to be the case, it's not like we're probably not going to have a conventional type 7. We're not going to have a Nathan Cleary, Jerome Hughes, Mitchy Moses mold kind of 7. I feel like we're going to have definitely more running threat type 7. Our 6 and 7 are going to be pretty similar, I feel like, just given their natural running game. But I do think there's huge upside on Razor Sharp. We've only scratched the surface, man, of Razor. Like, this dude is so wet behind the ears when it comes to first grade football. Super talented. Came through as a half before shifting. I think it was only through injury. He had to come in and play fullback, and obviously killed it there. He's just one of these guys. It wouldn't matter what sport or what position you played him. He just seems to thrive. So I would not write it out whatsoever, man. I think he's got such an amazingly high ceiling. We've all clearly seen what we miss when Razor's not in this team. He's just immediately become, a cornerstone of this team, particularly in attack. So, but if it's going to put pressure on positions, that's only a good thing too. Maybe pushes Razor a little bit harder. It's the old saying, iron sharpens iron in that regard. So you want those positions battled for, and maybe that's a good reason to get a guy like Sander across as well. So very good. Good questions, Baylors. And as I said before, I would not be at all surprised if you just down the dumps. I got nothing for you, mate. I'm absolutely speechless. I got no questions. I just need answers. I don't know what the questions are. I just want answers, and I wouldn't blame you at all. I would not blame you at all. But yes, Battlers, if you can do so, if you haven't done so already, please give this video a big old thumbs up. It really does help us out. It really, really does. So make sure you give it the feed whatever you're listening on, whether it's Facebook or YouTube at the moment, give it a thumbs up. If you're listening to the podcast afterwards, make sure you give it a 5-star review, and make sure you're liking, follow, subscribing, all the good stuff on all your social media platforms. We are there, so make sure you do that for us. Also, we'll be back tomorrow night, going back to back for you guys, as we look ahead on the roster review show for the upcoming 88 Cup. That's right, against the Penalty Broncos podcast, those wankers over there with their stupid football club, the bloody Brisbane Broncos coming to town. Can we win this game? The game that I've had circled in the calendar since bloody November last year. The game that I want to win more than anything. This is like my mini grand final. This is my grand final. I don't get a chance to play finals football. This is my grand final.
We ban that dance.
Oh, well, you got a night's watch to look forward to. As I have 3 raving Broncos dickheads in here. And it is going to be one of the worst losses of my natural born life, having them in here if they win. I just can't even put that out in the universe. I just need to keep manifesting a Broncos win. And it's not looking good, but I just got to keep believing.
Win, a Broncos loss.
What did I say?
You said a Broncos win.
Shit. No, definitely not that. Definitely not that. Not manifesting that at all. My Lord. But yes, battlers, you know what? I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go eat some, what ice cream have we got again?
Mint choc chip.
Mint choc chip ice cream. I'm going to make myself feel a bit better. I'm going to get out of here, eat some mint
Ice
choc chip
magic.
ice cream with a bit of ice magic. I'm getting the Adam O'Brien out of here. Enjoy your night, battlers. See you tomorrow night.